I always put out material because it's so interesting to see some of the differences in how men and women process what I, admittedly, as a biased dude, perceive as kind of innocuous, meaning no big deal and not toxic, nothing kind of statements about relationships, and how men and women process them differently. And I've done all kinds of little experiments, like on here on TikTok and elsewhere, saying, what if your partner said something about you is physically not attractive? And men tended to say, overwhelming majority of men tended to say, well, I guess that's something I got to work on because I don't want to lose my wife and my family. Thanks for letting me know. Well, women basically said, you can go F yourself. Interesting. And then people said, well, if you ask women in that way, it's not going to be fair. So I changed it about 6 months later, did a new set of videos, same result, roughly. And then I did one about your attitude stinks, men and women. How do you take that? Same result. And then we did one about just something in general that I don't like about you. How do you take that? Again, same result. So we're seeing that the ladies are somewhat sensitive to criticism, aren't they? That is not a anti-woman slam or whatever. Women have told me flat out, yeah, men need to be very careful about how you approach us with information. It has to be, you can't just go right to it. You know, let's say your lady, after having a child, 3 years later, she's still 100 pounds overweight and not attractive to you anymore. You can't go to her and say, you're too heavy. This is not attractive to me. You know, you can kind of soften it and say, I'm worried about your health and everything else. I want you to be around for our kids for years. But still, the message is clear. Me no likey this. And women don't take well to that. And I've talked about in the past, I've run into in the professional settings, in the corporate world and so forth, women tend to be, you need to kind of tiptoe around them. You can't be very direct like you can with men. And men, in turn, kind of lose respect for the women in that way. And that's not necessarily fair. It's just we process things in a different way. But that's how we men in a professional setting, maybe even in like a sports setting, the military and so forth, when we see that we kind of have to dance around people because they're too sensitive, as we put it, too sensitive, we tend to lose respect for them. So I think that's what a lot of women see online and elsewhere.